Good afternoon, everyone. It's my honor to welcome you to Sheridan's celebration of life for our beloved Chancellor, Hazel McCallion. My name is Rajan Sandhu, Vice President Strategy and General Counsel at Sheridan, and I'll be your MC today. Thank you to Ian Calhoun for the beautiful piping of the song My Home to start off today's event. Ian is a senior systems architect and team lead in our IT department. As we gather today, we acknowledge that all of Sheridan's campuses reside on land that has been and still is the traditional territory of several Indigenous nations, including the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Since time immemorial, numerous Indigenous nations and Indigenous peoples have lived on and passed through this territory. We recognize that this territory is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Treaty and the Two-Row Wampum Treaty, which emphasize the importance of joint stewardship, peace, and respectful relationships. As you may be participating virtually from different locations, we acknowledge the many diverse nations and territories from which you are joining. As an institution of higher learning, Sheridan recognizes and embraces the critical role that education must play in facilitating real transformational change. We continue our collective efforts to recognize Canada's colonial history and take steps towards meaningful truth and reconciliation. Miigwech. Here, in the heart of downtown Mississauga, in the Creativity Commons of our stunning Hazel McCallion campus, there really couldn't be a more fitting backdrop for today's celebration of life for a woman who championed this city and our institution with tenacity and pride. I had the opportunity to work with Chancellor McCallion during her tenure as Chancellor. I distinctly remember her energy and excitement at all of our convocation ceremonies. Her energy and excitement remaining high throughout the ceremony, whether it was our first student walking across the stage graduating or the last. Chancellor McCallion would enthusiastically congratulate each student and give each one a different and unique compliment. And each of these students, sometimes 80+ years younger than the Chancellor, were all over the moon to see her because of her rock star status. To begin our formal remarks today, it's my pleasure to invite to the stage our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Janet Morrison.
So thank you, Rajan, and honestly, rock star is probably the word of the day, friends. So today we are gathered to remember, to honor, to celebrate the remarkable life of Hazel McCallion, our beloved Chancellor, our inspiration, our Mississauga campus namesake, and our deeply cherished friend. It's a great privilege to be here with you all today as we collectively acknowledge the passing of Sheridan's Chancellor and share our reflections on her admirable life and legacy. We're grateful to have joining us today Peter McCallion, Hazel's son, her worship, Mayor Bonnie Crombie, members of Mississauga Council, community leaders, and so many friends of Sheridan. On February 14th, many of us had the chance to honor Chancellor McCallion at her state funeral here in the city of Mississauga on what would have been her 102nd birthday. February 14th is also the day that has become fittingly known to us here in Ontario as Hazel McCallion Day. Hazel McCallion was Sheridan's inaugural chancellor, a position she proudly accepted in 2016 at the age of 95, which she quipped was the perfect age to start a new job. And it was one that she held until her death in January. She was beloved by students, by employees, by alumni, all of whom respected that she truly championed not only them as individuals, but Sheridan. And she always, if Chancellor McCallion was championing you, she was doing it with tenacity and passion. What I will remember most about her was her commitment to young people and her unwavering belief in their potential. Chancellor McCallion implored students to take full advantage of all that Sheridan offered, inside and beyond the classroom. She often lamented not having had the opportunity to attend post-secondary education. She spoke about this at every graduation. She understood, in reflecting on her own lived experience, about the transformative power of education, and she worked tirelessly throughout her life to ensure others had the educational opportunities that she couldn't afford. Her boundless energy and enthusiasm were evident at every convocation she attended. And she attended as many as she could. We would always give her the option to go to every other convocation, or maybe one a day. She was so insulted by that suggestion, she always showed up. She took great joy, as Rajan said, in offering her congratulations and these personal words of encouragement to each graduate as they crossed the stage. She was typically the most sought-after person in the room during those ceremonies, as students excitedly gathered around her for the chance to shake her hand or take a selfie. In fact, our events team learned to factor in way more time during the ceremony to allow for those interactions to take place. Chancellor McCallion's unparalleled work ethic, her fearlessness, and the path she paved for female leaders were some of her most enviable qualities. She was an incredibly humble life force who changed the energy in a room by her mere presence. As someone committed to continually honing my leadership practice and to public service, Hazel was a role model I'll forever aim to emulate. The day she presided over my installation as Sheridan's 8th president and vice chancellor was one of great joy. I'd now like to read a few reflections that were shared with us by former Sheridan presidents, Mary Hofstetter, Sheldon Levy, Rob Turner, Mary Priest, and Jeff Zabudsky. Mary Hofstetter said, "Hazel was a brilliant strategist. Back in the day, I asked if she would consider joining the Board of Governors of Sheridan. Without hesitation, she responded, 'Mary, when you give me a campus in Mississauga, then I'll be happy to join the board.' Well, Hazel got her spectacular campus," Mary wrote, "and Sheridan got a rock star chancellor. I'd say it was a fair deal and well worth the wait. I suspect Chancellor McCallion would agree." Sheldon Levy said, "I recall so well when Sheridan was moving its convocations from the gym to the Living Arts Center in Mississauga, and how pleased the mayor was with the move. She saw Sheridan coming closer to Mississauga, and that this move was only the beginning." Rob Turner wrote, "In my first meeting with Hazel, I sat across the desk from her in the mayor's office. I told her of my long-term vision for all of Sheridan. And she let me know in no uncertain terms that Sheridan needed to have a full campus in Mississauga. She trusted me, she waited for us, she rebuffed many other post-secondary suitors and strongly supported both me personally and Sheridan generally for many, many years." He continued, "My respect and affection for Hazel grew exponentially during the next 8 years. Together, we built the Mississauga campus, which justifiably bears her name. It has been one of the great honors of my life to work with this extraordinary Canadian icon and to learn so much from her, to know her with great admiration and affection, and to think of her as my friend." Jeff Zabudsky offered, "It is the privilege of a lifetime to have come into the orbit of Hazel McCallion. I was honored to come to know her personally and to work closely with her to advance her beloved Sheridan College. He continued, I remembered meeting her for lunch at one of her favorite Mississauga restaurants to pitch her on an idea to have her become the inaugural chancellor for Sheridan. With trepidation, I carefully made the ask. For a few seconds, she said nothing, and my heart sank. But then, that familiar twinkle in her eye appeared, and she enthusiastically accepted the offer, slapping my back to cement the deal. That moment, he continued, was one of the most professionally and personally fulfilling experiences of my lifetime. It is even more gratifying in retrospect to have seen all of the wonderful things Hazel went on to do for Sheridan and Sheridan students over the years. Hazel McCallion, what a life, what a legacy. Mary Priest offered, she was an inspiration for so many women aspiring to reaching professional heights and awe-inspiring for everyone wishing to make a difference. She will be missed and remembered as a one-of-a-kind life force and a rock star. Thank you to Mary and to Sheldon, Rob, Jeff, for sharing these special tributes. I'd now like to welcome Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie to share a few words.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour. And thank you to the organizers here at Sheridan College for hosting this tribute to someone who meant a great deal to all of us gathered here today. And it's only fitting that we remember Hazel here at Sheridan College, one of the many reminders of the importance that she placed not only on learning, but on youth. Of course, I'd like to acknowledge Hazel's son, Peter McCallion, who was with us today, and Dr. Janet Morrison, President and Vice Chancellor of Sheridan College, who just gave a wonderful tribute. Thank you, Janet. Daniela Hampton-Davies, who is Chair of the Sheridan Board of Directors. And I'd like to also recognize my council colleagues who took time out of their day to join us. Many of them felt a great affinity for Hazel as well. Councillor Stephen Dasco from Ward 1. You can give a little wave there. Councillor Alvin Tedjo from Ward 2, one of our new councillors. Another new councillor, Joe Hornick from Ward 6. Thank you. Another new councillor, but someone many of you know from the Board of Trade, from Ward 11, Brad Butt. And another new councillor from up in the Northwest, Councillor Martin Reed, who is with us as well here today. I think we have, or should have, representatives from Peel Regional Police and Mississauga Fire and Emergency Services. Thank you for coming. All of the dignitaries, community leaders who have joined us today, including the entire Sheridan College community, members of the Board of Directors, senior leaders, staff, student, friends, and community partners. Thank you for being here. I know how much Hazel meant to all of you. I'd also like to acknowledge Mohammed Faki, who couldn't be with us today at the last moment. Something very urgent came up, but he was a very close, dear friend of Hazel and also a strong supporter of Sheridan College. Many of you don't know how close Hazel and Mohammed were, but I know that he held her in the highest regard and attribute much of his success to her advice and guidance. I have many memories of the two of them together, especially on the dawn of her 100th birthday. Here we are in the middle of COVID, can't go anywhere, do anything. And he erected a very large ice sculpture on her front lawn so that people could come by and wave and pay tribute. And naturally, we all saw the pictures on how they were actually knocking on her door to get their selfie. I was like, this woman is 100. We have COVID. Leave her alone, please. But you know how beloved she was. And then again, he did it a second time. For her 101st birthday, he cut out 101 Dalmatians. and put them on her front lawn so we could all drive by and wave along with the procession of fire and emergency services. And I don't know what tribute he had planned for her 102nd, but instead he erected a memorial wall of flowers right at the Paramount Fine Food Center. And if you had the opportunity to attend the tribute, perhaps you stopped in front of that wall of flowers to take a selfie in memory of Hazel. That was his intent. He was very involved behind the scenes and generous with his time, so I want to thank him personally for the contributions he made towards making Hazel's memorial exactly how she would have wanted it. So I like to say that Hazel is the Mrs. in Mississauga. She's certainly the matriarch of our city, but she was also the architect of our city. We talk about her fiscal prudence, her fiscal stewardship, and how she built a city in her vision. She was Mississauga through and through, and it was through her efforts that led us to here today, to the city that we have built today. She spent 36 years, yes, that's 12 terms. In the beginning, they were 2-year terms, and then they became 3-year, and then eventually 4-year terms as mayor. A trailblazer, we talk about her that way, a force of nature, but nonetheless, trailblazer in women's ice hockey, but also in politics, and a real no-nonsense kind of gal. You don't want to mess with Hazel McCallion, because she's going to tell you exactly what she thinks, right? But she was also an inspiration to so many, and of course me included. In fact, she first encouraged me to run for City Hall on the night that I took the early retirement package from federal politics. I like to position it that way. She came and she thought to congratulate me on a victory, but as it turns out, there was another plan. Brad Butt was the MP, I was the former MP, and she said, there is room on our city council, why don't you come join us? And invited me to run in a by-election for a seat in Ward 5 that already had 27 participants. But it got me on council, and I realized how much I loved municipal politics, and after her retirement, she certainly did encourage me, as well as everybody else, to put my name forward for mayor. So here we are today, eight and a bit years ago. During her tenure as mayor, Mississauga led the way with many women in leadership positions long before it became fashionable. I think it's fair to say that she opened the door for women in politics, in leadership, and really helped us realize our full potential. I like to say that she created a meritocracy, that if you did the work, you could succeed. Your gender, your culture, ethnicity, religion were not going to be barriers to you. And it was certainly a time where we had 50% representation of women on council. Many of our commissioners, senior directors were women as well. Today, our fire chief, previously our police chief, the individual who is the CEO of our hospitals today and a few years ago as well. So you can see that she established a meritocracy, but a realm that allowed women to flourish. She did have a few favorite sayings. We know many of them. We repeat many of them, especially at our council meetings. She said, if you do the work, you will succeed. The other one we like to repeat, she used to say, think like a man, act like a lady, and work like a dog. We remember her saying that, but the one we repeat at council all the time is, well, there are two. The first one is, I always think that my councillors are the most prepared council in Canada and abroad, because she used to say, do your homework. And so, many of them will lead off the conversation, debate about an issue with, well, I did my homework, as Hazel taught us to do. And then she would remind us that Mississauga was a city second to none, right? So we all took her advice to heart, and she expected the same from those around her. Even after her time in politics, Hazel never stopped lending her support to causes that she cared about in the community. And of course, education was something that was so vitally important to her. I think largely because there were students and youth here, and she loved young people, loved the youth. And she wanted to ensure as well that everyone had an equal opportunity to continue their education. And of course, that was one of her great passions. She loved to speak to the students. She would share her experiences, her wisdom, and her encouragement. And she genuinely loved the opportunity to talk with, to listen to, and connect with the youth, with the young people in our community. I mean, everybody was young, but I mean the youth. So it's very fitting as well that Hazel was named the first chancellor here at Sheridan College, a role that she accepted proudly in 2016. And it gave us a bit of space too, because instead of Madam Mayor, we called her the Chancellor and Madam Mayor. So that was great. And I know she was so honored to be the Chancellor. And during her time, she attended so many convocation ceremonies, as we heard Janet describe, and genuinely thrived in the excitement and the joy with each graduation and convocation ceremony each year. I fondly remember Hazel joining Sheridan College at the opening of the new Student Center this past October. That day meant a great deal to her, being able to witness the Hazel McCallion campus continuing to grow and expand and provide more resources for students to succeed on their educational journeys. She was in her element that day, talking to students and faculty, and I remember her bounding up the stairs and leading the tour. And when we look around Mississauga, we are reminded of her legacy in all the buildings, the parks, the open spaces, and the people that she welcomed from around the world. I like to say that she left an indelible mark on this city. And this beautiful campus bears her name. It's a very fitting tribute that honors the legacy of a woman that has meant so much to so many. And we are all so proud to have the Hazel McCallion campus here in Mississauga in our downtown precinct, and that Sheridan College is a destination that students choose to attend. It's because of her vision and tenacity that Sheridan College is in our downtown core. She fought for this little piece of land from Omers and Oxford. And she was the architect of the deal that brought the campus here on city-owned land after we did a negotiation with them over there. She understood the tremendous importance of education and the incredible benefit to our city of having a world-renowned post-secondary institution right here in our downtown and in our backyard of the downtown precinct, which is now, may I also say, home to the Hazel McCallion Library. A good fit, a good synergy, may I say. She grew and she nurtured relationships, and almost 15 years later, you can see the outcome of her vision. The campus is thriving. She will forever be a part of Sheridan College's history, and you will forever be a part of hers. I know that we will all miss her, and each of us will cherish our fond memories and those moments that we interacted with her, and maybe some special advice that she gave us one day when we encountered her. And we'll hold those near and dear to our hearts. Everything she did was for the betterment of our city, and to ensure that even after a long time after she passed, Mississauga will continue to thrive. So, in conclusion, a big thank you, Hazel McCallion, and we sure will miss you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Morrison and Mayor Crombie, for your eloquent and kind tributes. Next, I'd like to introduce 3 alumni from our Honors Bachelor of Music Theater Performance program: Aidan Reimer, Caitlin Collingwood, and Kathleen Mills. They'll be performing the song Yesterday.
yesterday. All my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Oh, yesterday. Love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Oh, yesterday. Love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away.
I believe in yesterday.
Thank you for that beautiful piece. We'll be hearing from our alumni singers again shortly. I'd now like to welcome Daniela Hampton-Davies, Chair of Sheridan's Board of Governors, to the stage. Welcome, Daniela.
Thank you, Rajan. Chancellor McCallion, Hazel, was a remarkable woman who has left an indelible mark on Sheridan. Not only was she a champion for our institution and students, but with her unwavering commitment and dedication, a mentor for the Board of Governors also. We just heard Dr. Morrison talk of Hazel's remarkable energy and enthusiasm, her belief in the endless potential education could bring to students. And without question, Sheridan was a particular passion of hers from its very beginnings in Mississauga, and she worked closely with the college's leadership to help it grow and to thrive. I recall something Hazel said back when it was announced she'd been named Sheridan's first chancellor. She said, "I never had the opportunity to go to college or university myself. It wasn't financially possible. But I really believe education is important because the future of the Canadian economy is going to be brain power." She understood that education was the key to unlocking a better future for individuals and communities alike, and she was committed to making sure that everyone had the chance to succeed. Through her strong advocacy and leadership, she never wavered from her belief that Sheridan would become a hub of innovation and excellence, attracting talented students and faculty from around the world. Today, her enduring legacy can be seen in the countless graduates whose lives have been transformed by their time at Sheridan and in the thriving community that Sheridan has helped to build. I personally remember a few moments I've shared with Hazel McCallion over the past few years. Often at convocation, her exceptional energy is really hard to express in words what she managed both intellectually and even physically. We stood together on a stage during one convocation for well over an hour, and my feet hurt. And I looked over at Hazel in her heels, and she was fine, loads of energy, kept going. And walking down the stairs into the Living Arts Center, the first time I'd done a convocation, I kind of reached for the rail because we were going downstairs and I was wearing heels. And she didn't. And I was just like, she's just quite remarkable in every single way. And I think one of the things that I really hold on to in terms of her mentorship and leadership and the way she behaved was her courage. But I feel like it wasn't a choice for her. It was so deeply embedded in who she was that it was true authenticity. But that authenticity is also, I think, should give us all permission to live that way and to bring our full selves, because that's why she had that impact. There was no, there was sometimes less filter, but that also meant incredible honesty and truth, and that's what allowed her to be so exceptional, because she gave everything, all of herself. So we are all deeply, deeply grateful for her contributions, and we know that her legacy will continue to inspire and to guide us for many years to come. So thank you.
Thank you, Daniela, for that personal tribute. It's really nice to hear the impact that Chancellor McCallion had on everyone here. Next, I'd like to welcome two current Sheridan students to bring some remarks on behalf of our student community. Rupam Jain and Mahima Kaur Anand are both studying marketing management and completing a co-op placement in our Pilon School of Business. Welcome, Rupam and Mahima.
Thank you, Rajan. Good afternoon, everyone. Mahima and I are deeply honored to have been asked to address our fellow students, employees, and community members here today. I had the privilege of hearing Chancellor McCallion speak at the June 2022 convocation ceremony, and I was in awe at the wisdom of her words. Although I didn't know our Chancellor on a personal level, I am a beneficiary to her wisdom and her dedication to Mississauga and to Sheridan. As an international student, it is here in this city and at this school that I have found my home away from home. At Sheridan, I can be the best version of myself because I'm provided boundless opportunities, support from faculty, and an amazing and learning environment.
Chancellor McCallion's carved a path in politics and leadership that has served as an inspiration for many women, including myself. This campus, where I have the privilege of learning and now working as a co-op student, will forever serve as a reminder of Chancellor McCallion's commitment to education. I am proud to say that I am a part of Hazel McCallion campus family. On behalf of our student community, we thank Chancellor McCallion for all her contributions and will continue to serve and work hard in her honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupam and Mahima. Next, we have Ryan O'Neill Knight joining us to say a few words. Ryan is a 2012 graduate of Sheridan's accounting program, the president and co-founder of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, founder of Detailing Nights, a public speaker, volunteer, and social enterprise coach and mentor. In 2021, he was inducted into Sheridan's Pilon School of Business Hall of Fame, and we're delighted to have him here today. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you so much. It is more than an honor to be able to share a bit of my journey and how Hazel has inspired me. One thing I would love to ask of the audience, if you could repeat after me, life fully lived. Life fully lived. That's one thing that I take away. For those that don't know who I am, I'm one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in, and then help them create a strategy to grow exponentially. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile, waterless car cleaning. We go to your house, clean your car without water, and our plant-based, eco-friendly cleaning supplies. That I started that company right here at Sheridan. As Rajan mentioned, inducted into the Pilon School of Business Hall of Fame. And I always remember being in the hallway at the Brampton Davis campus and saying to myself, if I ever want to be in this Hall of Fame, I need to finish auditing. So being there studying and now being able to give back to Sheridan as it gave so much to me. One thing I remember when I met Hazel, it was actually right here at the campus as EDGE, the Entrepreneurship Discovery and Growth Engine that the ACBN is partnered with, was getting awarded dollars from the federal government. And as talking to her, she mentioned, oh, congratulations on being here and speaking, and congratulations on the funding. And I said, you know, I'm happy to play the small puzzle piece I can do. And she said, you know what? That small puzzle piece that you think you are, you don't know the ripple effect that you could have. And that's something that's really stuck with me, because legacy is that thing that we leave behind. And we can see by the outpouring of support and the way that we feel as we think about Hazel. It's amazing when you come into the space and when I talk about doing events at Sheridan, Hazel McCallion campus, and I always smile. And that's something that I feel as a leader, I want to be able to leave a legacy such as that. We leave that legacy because we build the foundation that the next generations are going to build on. The one thing I'll take away is that as leaders, we need to engage with those that we lead. That is something that I've learned from Hazel McCallion, because she over-engaged with the not just the citizens, but those that followed her as a leader. And so I would give that challenge to everyone in this room, that we are not just building our own ivory towers and to be in office spaces leading from above, but to engage with those that we lead. And in reverse, we should also engage with our leaders. Our presidents here, our mayors here, MPs are here. Just because they lead us doesn't mean that we cannot engage with them and see how we can support the work that they're doing. So I'd say I'm looking forward to playing the puzzle piece that I can for the city, for the province, for Canada, because Hazel has left her legacy on this city, on Ontario, on Canada, and the world. So as a wrap, I would love for you to repeat with me one more time. Life fully lived. Life fully lived. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm inspired every time I hear you talk about leadership. Our performers will now take the stage again to perform the song Danny Boy.
Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh Danny boy, I love you so. And when you come and all the flowers are dying, if I am dead, as dead I well may be, you'll come and find place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me. And I shall hear, though soft you tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be. For you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me. And I shall sleep in peace until you come to me. To me.
Thank you again for that beautiful piece, Aidan, Caitlin, and Kathleen. I'd now like to invite Alexandra Lilly, a student from our Honors Bachelor of Creative Writing and Publishing program, to do a poetry reading.
Life by Charlotte Bronte. Life, believe, is not a dream, so dark as sages say. Oft a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. But sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient all. If the shower will make the roses bloom, oh, why lament its fall? Rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by. Gratefully, cheerily, enjoy them as they fly. What though death at times steps in and calls our best away? What though sorrow seems to win, or hope a heavy sway? Yet hope again elastic springs, unconquered though she fell. Still buoyant are her golden wings, still strong to bear us well. Manfully, fearlessly, the day of trial bear, for gloriously, victoriously, can courage quell despair.
Thank you, Alexandra. Let's now bring Dr. Janet Morrison back up for a special presentation.
Okay, so folks who know me, including certainly Chancellor McCallion, know that I would never miss an opportunity to thank and demonstrate my pride in our students. And I just want you to know that Chancellor McCallion would have loved all of your engagement in today's ceremony. So thank you for making yourselves available and for lending your talent and your creativity for today. So to our alumni and to our current students, thank you very much. So I was reminded, Daniela tells the story of, we go convocation, you're upstairs, it's slippery, there's people running around, and literally the chancellor's like, bounding up the stairs and doesn't want help with anything. Would you like to use the elevator, Chancellor? You have never gotten more of a death stare in your whole entire life. This was not on. And so as people are coming and going from the microphone, I'm very mindful at the Living Arts Center, they all knew the Chancellor and greeted her like family for sure. But invariably, before every ceremony would start, the AV guys would say to her, it was always Madam Mayor, please don't touch the microphone. And would you like a step stool? Nope, she didn't want any of that. They never listened, so every time she would come up to the stage, and for those of you who graduated, you would have seen, they still put the step stool up. So she would come up, she would literally hoof it out of the way so that it would skim across and haul the microphone down. And the young guys at the back are just panicked because, and it didn't matter. That was gone. You could hardly see her head over the, But we all heard her message, always heard her message. So it's been such a privilege to be in community today to celebrate and remember our beloved Chancellor McCallion. You know, over the last few weeks, tears and laughter, I just also want to express such gratitude to the McCallion family for letting us be a part of your family and of your mother's legacy. After the news of Chancellor McCallion's passing, we asked our students and our staff on each of our campuses to share their memories and stories. And I have to tell you, I went down to Peter in particular, I went down to the main floor of our campuses almost every day in those early days to just read what the students had contributed. And I hope that you will find the same comfort and enlightenment in their words. The personal tributes that came forward, they're just filled with both sadness and immense gratitude, as well as deep admiration. This was an overwhelming response from our community. Some of the notes you would have seen on the screen before the start of the event, running through the event, and I'm really pleased. We've had those compiled into a book for you and your family. It says in my notes it's a book of condolences, but I actually wouldn't describe it that way. I think it's a book of celebration and of honor and reverie. So I hope you and your family consider it similarly. If you could join me on stage, I'd just like to make sure you have, we hope that the words in the book will be a beautiful reminder of the lasting legacy that your mother's left, both to Sheridan and to the world.
Thank you.
So. Thank you so much.
That's so beautiful.
Would you like to say a few words?
No, I'm okay.
You good? Okay. Thank
Okay,
you so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Morrison and Peter McCallion. We have our alumni singers here for one final song, so let's take it away.
So before I start, this song, Hazel was known to sing this for her friends and family, and what an honor it is to get to sing it on her behalf. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew.
But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now as the tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way, oh no, Oh no, oh no, not me, oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my Yes, it was my way.
Wow, what a wonderful performance of a classic. Thank you for sharing your talents with us today. Shortly, we ask that all of our in-person attendees join us for a reception set up here in the Creativity Commons. We have a commemorative token to share with you, a bookmark that includes a quote from Chancellor McCallion's book, Hurricane Hazel, A Life with Purpose. The quote reads, "Education really is our best hope in Canada and around the world to finding solutions to so many challenges today and tomorrow. So please be sure to take one of the bookmarks home." Thank you to today's speakers and performers and everyone here in person and those joining us virtually for your participation. Please turn your attention to the screen for a final tribute in our celebration of life for Chancellor Hazel McCallion. Thank you.
What a tremendous honor it is for me to be standing here in front of you all on my first official day in my new role as Chancellor of Sheridan. I think 95 is a perfect age to start a new job. I was particularly excited about the opportunity to become Chancellor. the first Chancellor of Sheridan College. Sheridan is all about possibility and access to opportunity. Sheridan is about vision and purpose. That's why I'm excited to be involved with it.
Whatever you undertake to do, be committed and give it your best. If you do the best in whatever you undertake to do, the best will come back to you.